Hi, CMattDye here. Thanks for stopping by and checking out today's video. Trying to get it out really quickly, so no face today, but it will come back. Anyway, let's get into the top 5 CNFTs. First, let's start with volume, and you can see volume has just been dismal. And for a little while now, volume has been leaving CNFTs and going into DeFi, which is totally fine. Eventually, we do want it to come back into the NFTs, and it will, but it just has to run its course. And if we go over here to DeFi Llama, going to Cardano, you can see that basically since January here, DeFi has been growing. So, and this is by ADA. More and more volume has been going into DeFi. I'm using ADA because over here is ADA. So, I mean, compare apples with apples, not apples with oranges. But anyway, that's what we can see there, which makes sense. We already know that. So let's get into the top 5 CNFTs of the week. Number 1 is Jungle Hunter. No surprise because they're coming out with Dex Hunter. They did postpone that for about a week because they want to do beta testing on the platform before having the sell, so that way they actually have a product. I think that's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm very excited to see what they do come out with because their tools are, it's a lot of good stuff and stuff that we need. Next is the Ape Society. Number 3 is Clay Nation. Number 4 is SpaceBudz, and number 5 Tappy by TapTools. Interesting there. So let's get into number 1, Jungle Hunter. And if we scroll down here, you can see, we talked about this last week. Whenever that news did come out, they started to really spike in volume, which is cool. Right now they're around that 600. I think that's because when they came out and said they were going to postpone the Dex Hunter, obviously some people are going to be a little salty about that and just sell their pass, which I think is a mistake. For me, I'm really, going to go for this. In my alpha groups, I'm, letting people know my thoughts, but I'm letting them know they're my thoughts. It is what it is. But anyway, obviously some people sold on that news, and that just gives others a good buy price if you do want to get in and be part of it. So they're really helping people out doing that. Anyway, the Jungle Hunter pass, giving you that entry to Dex Hunter, I think that is the play. Because after Dex Hunter, these will have no value, but you get an airdrop of Hunt token, and then you get a guaranteed allocation to buy Hunt token, and that airdrop is supposed to give you that value, but now the value is in token rather than NFT form. So that's kind of how that's going. Next, let's go to Ape Society. Ape Society floor price is at 4,400 and all-time high sells at 250,000. And you can see the floor is just not that good. If it did drop below 4,000, I don't think that would really surprise me. But if it dropped below 3,000, that would surprise me. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Last week I talked about that 4,000, 5,000 range, which is okay. But now price has broken that 4,500. So if it stays below 4,500 for a number of days, it could very easily break that 4,000 floor. So that's kind of what I'm watching here. It's going to be very interesting to see what actually does happen. But if it does break, it's going to be interesting. If it does get back over 4,500 within a day or so, then it's still going to be in that 4,000, 5,000 range, which was my prediction. But if it does break down, just know that it should. I think there's a good chance it stays over 3,000. Right now, it's kind of hard to predict because volume's just leaving, and things are really just getting sold off right now. So anyway, that's what I got on Ape Society. Clay Nation. Clay Nation is actually coming into a very nice buy point. 100,000 all-time high sell, 1749 floor currently, which means it is under 2,000. So as we're looking at here, I don't remember what I said in the last video. I usually don't watch my videos once I make them. I just make them and then go on to something else. I guess that is cool because I have original thoughts in every video. I'm not just regurgitating stuff that I said in the past. But anyway, Clay Nation, I think I may have said 1,500 to 2,000 last time, because that's what I'm thinking now. That 1,500 to 2,000 should be a pretty decent spot. If it does drop below 1,500, that's probably a really good buy point. But anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000 is a good buy point. But if it does break that 1,500, and this is different than Ape Society. Ape Society still has a higher floor than it should, whereas Clay's, they're not really going to get that much lower. I remember in the last bear market, they got down to like I think they may have dropped under 1,000 for a very brief amount of time, but it was earlier in the bear market. And then, they mostly hovered over 1,400, and then they did drop into the 1,200s very briefly as well. So that's kind of what they did there, and that's why I'm thinking that 1,500 to 2,000 is a pretty good floor, and anything under 1,500 is kind of a gift if you want to be in this project. So that's kind of what I'm looking at with that. Next, SpaceBudz. And SpaceBudz, yeah, you have a 510,000 all-time high sell, but the floor price right now is at 1810, and it is going lower. SpaceBudz, to the best of my knowledge, they don't really have any utility. You have the founder, Alessandro. He built Nami Wallet, which is kind of fallen behind a little bit. I mean, it is what it is. And you don't really have any utility for SpaceBudz, except for it's like, the first really good project on Cardano as far as the NFT project goes. So that's kind of what SpaceBudz has going for them right now. So, can this floor go a little bit lower? I would think so, but a lot of the people in SpaceBudz are diamond handlers. So, a lot of them aren't really trying to sell. Most of your sellers are just people that, let me buy in at 2,300. Oh no, it's below 2,000. Let me sell. At least that's what I would think. Most of your sellers. I haven't looked at the wallets. I don't really get into all that because it doesn't matter to me. I'm not in SpaceBudz, and I'm not trying to get into SpaceBudz. But I'm not saying it's not a good project, because there's a lot of good people in SpaceBudz. I have some friends in SpaceBudz, and I think that after the bear market going into the bull market, it will be a sought after project again, because it does have a strong community. It has a founder that really cares about Cardano, which is very important. So, I think it's going to be a quality project. What would I think on this? I mean, I wouldn't have thought it would have gone this low for so much of a time. However, now that we're here, maybe it's going to hover between either 1,500 to 2,000, or maybe 1,000 to 2,000. I would be a little surprised if it went below 1,500, but it very easily can, just looking at this chart. So it's really just going to be dependent on what people want. But I think that 1,000, 2,000 would be my pick for a range. Now, if it gets back over 2,000, it can, that 2,500, 2,000 can be something. But as long as it stays below, if it gets above and falls right back down, that doesn't count as getting above. So that's kind of what I would think with SpaceBudz. But I do think it's a quality project, and I think in the bull market it's going to come back to life. So next, Tappy by TapTools, 10,000 all-time high sell and 800 floor price. Now I did say something last video. I was like, Tappy by TapTools probably doesn't have that long of a lifespan. It is what it is. They kind of have a commodity and not a product. The reason I say that is because there's nothing, like for me personally, there's nothing that makes me want to buy a Tappy. Nothing in the Pro Tools, makes me want to jump in. It just isn't helpful to me personally. Now, I know a lot of people that get in there, a lot of people that like to look at wallets and they have fun doing it, and that's awesome. I'm happy for you. There are a couple products about to come out that's going to be like TapTools, and which service is going to be the better one is what I'm looking at. Now, if TapTools did change around a few things and win out of those products that are coming out, that's great. If all of them had a place in Cardano, that's great. I'm the type of guy, I think like a rising tide lifts all boats. If Cardano does well, all of the good products on Cardano should do well. No, I say they have a commodity, not a product, just because they don't have a unique selling proposition. They don't have a reason to go out and buy a Tappy. However, that can change, and I would definitely enjoy seeing something like that. I've talked to the guys over at Tappy quite a bit. They're pretty cool, and I just would enjoy a nice charting platform on Cardano where it would save your drawings on the chart 100% of the time. Now, if that happened with Tappy's, great. If that happens with another product, great. But that's really my main thing. But yeah, I do want a lot of, I want Cardano to succeed, and to do that, the projects on Cardano need to succeed. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, and I think that's why a lot of people have gone to DeFi, because NFT projects are starting to, just fail, rug, whatever term you want to use. But I think that is why you're seeing volume go up so much in DeFi, because I do think a lot of this, some of this is some people coming from other blockchains, but a lot of this is our own people in our blockchain, and our meaning Cardano, because I do Cardano videos mostly. So that's kind of my thoughts about that. You're seeing the volume come into DeFi, you're seeing CNFT volume dry up, and that's where this volume's going, straight to DeFi. So, and I think that has something to do with it. A lot of these projects are just kind of like giving up, just, taking people's funds and walking away, different stuff like that. So it's a little sad. My project, Alpha Surfers, we did a rug victim contest, and we gave an NFT away. I want to do more of that, just because, the rugs are not good for the ecosystem. They're really not. So coming out and actually supporting, people who have been rugged, because I've been rugged before. It hasn't been that much, but I mean, it still hurts. Even one time would hurt. I've been rugged more than one time, but it is what it is. So, my project has come out and done that. I want to do more of that, because I think that's important to show that, that we're here. I actually care about the community. I want Cardano to do well. And for Cardano to do well, you need less rugs. And I've said this before, the good part about crypto is that anyone can start a project. But the bad part about crypto is that anyone can start a project. And because of that, you have people without business experience, without business acumen. without a real plan, and they start a project, and then they just, they, I guess, for lack of a better term, they should all over the roadmap. We should do this, we should do that, we should do that. Okay, let's just throw it on the roadmap. And, obviously they can't do any of that. And then they just take your money and go. And with Cardano, people just mint the most hyped project. And some of them flip it, which is fine. They make money. Others hold. And sadly, a lot of times the most hyped projects are not necessarily the ones that have the people that can be here long term. That's a little bit about that rant, but it's something that kind of irks me a little bit. People take a bunch of funds for a project and then they just walk away at the end of the day. They think that's okay. It's really just puts a black eye on everything. So it is what it is, but to me it's just not cool. So like I said, we did that one contest for rug victims, gave away an NFT. That felt really good. We're going to do more stuff like that in the future. If you're interested, join the Alpha Servers Discord down below. Ask questions. I always tell people wherever and whenever, ask questions. If you have a question, ask it. There's no such thing as a dumb question. There is only a question. If you don't know an answer, or if you're confused on something, or if you just don't understand something, I guarantee you there's someone else out there that feels the same way. Because of my experience, it's true. There's going to be someone else out there that feels the same way. And that's why I love questions. In the Discord, I'm always answering questions. We hold voice chats every single week. So that way I can handle questions. I can let people know what's going on. And I have a lot of fun. I love meeting people. That's the whole reason I came into Cardano in the first place. I love the community. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy sharing intellectual conversations, ideas, different stuff like that. So anyway, with that, thanks for listening to my rant. I feel like I just did a TED Talk. Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you around the crypto markets. Take care.